Good morning, everyone. It is 14 minutes past 9 o'clock. Welcome back to CW Iowa Live. Lou, along with meteorologist James Peterson and our good friend from Fidelity Bank, Rick Davis, joining us back from his travels. Now, hopefully your weather traveling was as nice as it's going to be around here for the next couple of days.
Looking good this weekend, Lou. I mean, we got chilly Wednesday, Thursday. And Thursday wasn't too bad, but it was cooler. But those temperatures are going to skyrocket right back up, pushing 80 degrees by Sunday, actually into the 80s on Monday.
There you go. So good weather for you to return home to there, Rick. So,
oh, yeah.
Now, you were at a very special place, and something that we did not realize, we just were chatting here before the cameras turned on. You said one of the top 20 places in the world to visit?
According to National Geographic, it's the top 20 in the top 20 of the world.
And what are we talking about?
Well, you're in the Appalachian Mountains. It's a two-lane road to get there for about 14 miles from an airport that only Delta goes into, right? Or it's an hour-and-a-half drive from New York. But when you get there, everything is, you cannot see dirt. There's so many trees around you and very steep. Then you got the Hudson River right in front of the base, West Point, right? And then like there's an area where the long gray line was, where how we didn't lose New York and didn't lose the war, because they went to every locks, whatever guys make horseshoes, and made these great big chain.
The blacksmiths, yep.
And put it underneath the water, because the ships were coming from Britain to go around the Hudson River and make it New York City in between, and would lost the war. So they were up in these mountains, very little armament, but we're looking at this where the chain is, and the boats can't get through, and they're shooting everybody. They had to turn around. It was like a changing point in the war.
How about that? So, but you said you were very impressed.
Well, we stopped at a place for coffee, and then we looked at the rock stone on the corner. 1765 is when the building were in, but oh my.
A lot of history.
Tell everybody what you were doing at West Point.
Well, I was there on an invitation to do a TED Talk about the 21st century reverse mortgages that I've been working on for 2 years locally, and now we're going nationwide with it. We've done a joint venture with a company, like we're talking about relatives in Arizona. We have a whole company base for me to be able to handle them, and then to handle them like a personal nature, like a white glove treatment. And for all the snowbirds that go south that are in that age group, it's a whole thing. But we have, we signed up for 48 of the 50 states.
Wow, that's impressive.
It's a change in the environment. You've heard all the way back to the outlaws in the refinance days, and then they tried to do this and they tried to do this. Where we're trying to be in the forefront and change this to a financial planner transaction, and we're licensing financial planners to work for us. Besides, so they already have the client, they know what's best for the client, and they can explain what's best. So it's like a completely different thing. We're working with people in Des Moines. But West Point overwhelmed me. It was just like, wow.
Now, what were the people most impressed with, what you had to say? Was there any one thing that they said, that I did not know that?
We're the first company that has spent the money, which, with the joint venture, large company. The other company's $3.1 billion. They're a little larger than us, and they came for us, based on the TED Talks that we do and the talk I did at Harvard. So they recruited our bank because of my relationship with the 21st century.
All right, so let's just cut to the chase here. With your bank doing this, how's that going to affect things that operate here in Des Moines?
Well, we're going to have an expert base better than just about anybody, because look, I'm talking to one of the people that's in the founders group with me, and I'm referring to a book that Tony Robbins wrote called The Money, which is an excellent book. And I'm saying, well, I don't understand this because their acronyms are like Greek to me, not Latin. I got a little Latin, have no Greek. So, and he says, no, you're talking about the money book? I said, yeah. He said, just a minute. So he put his phone on FaceTime, opened the cover on his book, the same book, The Money, says, thank you very much, Lance. I could have never done this book without your 5 days of help. So the guy I'm talking to wrote the 37 months of New York Times bestseller business book.
Wow. That's impressive.
Because there's just stuff in there that tells how this particular loan, anybody over 62 with equity should probably have this loan. Doesn't matter if he's a millionaire. I'm with a Stanford professor sitting next to me. He says, I was afraid to give this to people because I didn't want to offend my clients with not knowing what's going on, and I didn't have the credibility of being involved in the meeting. Now that I'm involved in the meeting, I have $5 million for you to do when you have time to come out in the next few weeks.
Are
$5 million,
serious?
yes.
That's hard to believe.
Then we were talking about where his Stanford tickets were because he's on the 40 row. Like, I'm trying to wait till next year when Notre Dame comes, but I think I'm going to have to go.
So it sounds like people are getting over their apprehension.
Well, the product has been revised, and it really is an economic need. 20% of the clientele will be baby boomers over 62, and their income is going to drop about a third. If they cannot compensate that third, we're going to have financial planners with a lot less portfolio because the economy will slow down. 70% of the American economy is people buying things. So if they buy less, we have a recession.
Everything's going to slow down a little
And
bit.
it's a perfect thing because you have equity over there that you're not using. He says, the guy from Stanford says, I have people with $2 million houses that they bought for $300 25 years ago, but they're $2 million now.
Wow.
And they're trying to live on $3,500 a month. So
You can't, the math doesn't work. Yeah.
no, the utilities.
So how skeptical were people when they start hearing your story?
Well, it helps to be allowed on the stage. You almost take credibility because they let you into, into security. I mean, it's not easy. My son had a Missouri driver's license. He had to bring his passport. They don't accept Missouri. Too many false license plates.
Really?
Driver's license in Missouri. So
Interesting.
luckily, Iowa's a recognized area. Congratulations.
You're from
fella.
Iowa. Come on up. Yeah, you're in.
Something wrong with Missouri, huh?
Yeah, but-
Evidently, their paperwork's a little bit. It's like
Well, you know, you have a product that is so important and can help so many people. They took you to West Point and had you give a presentation at West Point. You've been at Harvard. You know, you've done the same thing there. So you have something going on here. And again, it's right here in Des Moines. And if people want to find out more information about what Fidelity has, what is the absolute best way to get a hold of these?
Call us at Fidelity Bank, and that phone number is 515-343-2300. I do want to talk to the local financial planners. We are now at a different level than anybody else in the United States. We have the only product that can work in joint venture with the financial planner. It had a retired SEC president lawyer as part of the group to get the thing approved.
See, again, amazing statistics and amazing knowledge base that, again, is right here in Des Moines. You don't have to go to New York City or Los Angeles.
Or call an 800 number.
Yeah,
you can
no,
call local.
Please don't call the 800 number.
Stay local. We
stay local.
talk about that all the time. It's
Please
more
don't call
important.
the 800 number.
Local, local, local. And this guy is the guy you want to talk to, get all this. Now, when he comes back next time, we're going to talk about him having dinner with Buzz.
Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah, how about that? Buzz Aldrin and this guy in the
Buzz
same
Buzz
room.
Lightyear?
The same
Yes,
guy.
that's right.
In the
Although
same
he didn't
room.
like being referred to that.
At the same time. There you go. Thank you, sir.
To
Great job
infinity
as
and
always.
beyond.
Thank you.
We will be right back. This is CW Iowa Live.